time and I wasn't live. My goodness gracious. Okay. So, hello everybody. Did you guys watch the Charlie Adelson trial today? If you did, get this, my necklace is driving me. You'll be very not pleasantly surprised. I think you'll be surprised that the prosecution rested today. I think everybody that was watching with us was surprised. Some people were even scared that the prosecution rested today because they thought that they should not have rested so soon. But he's guilty. There's no doubt a freaking about it. I'm not even like a little bit think that he's going to get off on this. He's done, cooked. His goose is cooked. He's stick a fork in him. He's done. Now, he's going to take the stand tomorrow, 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. He is going to be on the stand, and I don't know how long it's going to be between direct and cross, but there is a chance they could be done, and I don't know. This could get to the jury. I think it'll be at the jury this week. The other thing is, today was a lot of listening to these calls between Charlie and his mother, Charlie and Katie Magbanua and Sigfrido Garcia, and then Charlie and the FBI undercover guy. So very, very lot of listening. The transcripts were up there and helped you. It was just crazy. Charlie kept reassuring his mother, hi Bucky, and that oh, don't worry, like if it was the police, it's the greatest thing. And I guess he was saying that because if it was the police that was doing this bump strategy, that then they don't have anything. If it's the police and you say yeah, go take the reward money, what are the police going to do? They're going to go take the reward money? No, they're trying to get people to start talking. He knew that. He's like, they want people to start talking. So he was meeting his father all over, and he's talking to Katie, and he's trying to get Katie to she's freaking out because she's trying to call this number that's on the bump, and it's like not in service, or it's some Google number. Finally, Charlie calls it. Then Mrs. Adelson calls it at one point, or she was called back, one or the other. So anyway, it was mostly all of that, which was very incriminating. And that was, you had the FBI agent Sanford on the stand. Then the defense first witness was Wendy Adelson's lawyer, and she eventually stepped down, not because that she didn't want to take the case, but she might have had to be a witness, and she, you can't, that was a conflict of interest, so she couldn't do that, so she stepped down. But they were just like saying that, oh, Wendy wouldn't have had to kill her husband because I think she would have been able to get that approved, and so that's what she was there for. It really didn't hold a lot of clout at all, not to me, I don't think. And then the next thing was, they had Charlie stand up. Do you understand? You don't have to testify, blah, 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 the whole 9 yards. Do you want to testify? He said yes, he wants to testify. So that's 8:45, and I will be watching that with bells on, and I will actually have bells on watching it. Now, the other thing that disgusted me was Kaitlin Armstrong trial. We are only seeing opening statements, closing statements, and the verdict. And the opening statements, now, this is what I don't understand. The prosecutor, there's a tiny little mic on the podium. He's like a foot away. You cannot hear him at all. And do you think anybody would be, sound check, checking the sound or anything? No one. No one checks the sound. So it was infuriating to the point that I was like, I'm not watching this. This is ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. But what he did say was that he talked about Mariah Mo Wilson and that she was in town. And the last thing, and her family was in court, so this is really hard to hear. The last thing that she did in her life was scream. And you hear her scream on the surveillance footage, and then you hear pow, pow. He does 2 gunshots, and she shot once in the forehead and then once through the side, and he said, and then it got her index finger because she had to put her hands up, and so it grazed her index finger, and then he said Kaitlyn Armstrong stood over her and shot another shot right into her heart. Okay, and they went over the timeline and said that there were 3 players in this thing, and it's Mariah Mo Wilson, it's Colin Strickland, the boyfriend of Kaitlyn, but the one-time boyfriend of Mariah, but that was friends with her still, and then Kaitlyn Armstrong. Okay, so we will... You forgot it was Wednesday? Somebody sent stuff to you. And you would have liked, we had Rosemary D'Alessandro on. Okay. So let's see something. What I want to look at. Okay. Where did I put my thingamajiggers here? There. Okay. So let's see. Prosecution continued to play the phone calls, like I said, and you just listen to them. They use all these code words. At one time, they brought out a list of the code words that they're using. They talked about everything in terms of real estate ventures, properties. They talked about 6750 for like the telephone number they needed to call, saying it was something they had to get at the kids' school. They had to bring them money for something. And it was weird because the FBI agent, every time they brought about another call, he was like, and then at one time he was like laughing with the judge. I don't know, because it was so crazy. They kept talking about Tatu and Tuto. You know, Tuto did not get help, but you're helping Katie and Tato. What was it? Tuto and Tatu. Oh my gosh. Tatu is Sigfrido. Tatu, you're helping Katie and Tato, but not Tuto. Oh my gosh. After about 5 hours of playing these recorded conversations, the prosecution rested their case, and then they had the defense attorney, Kate Myers, and said that the evidence, defense attorney Kate Myers was trying to get the protocol, right? Try to get it dismissed. They say they didn't, bring up enough evidence. And, of course, that was denied. And then they brought that divorce attorney that Wendy Adelson used. Even that was really not too much of anything. And now Charlie will be on the stand in the morning, so that'll be very good. If you haven't seen it, you want to go back and listen to all of the phone calls, go back, but literally they just point that they're up to no good. The mother was like so worried with all this stuff, and then Charlie keeps trying to reassure her. It's ridiculous. Okay, now let's see about Kaitlyn Armstrong, because it was absolutely ridiculous that we couldn't hear. Absolutely ridiculous. So, like I said, in the opening statement, let me put up a picture here of Mariah Mo Wilson. She was shot and killed in May of 2022. The state began by saying that Mo Wilson was one of the best gravel racers in the world. And on May 11th of 2022, the last thing Mo did on this earth is scream in terror. And you will hear those screams. There is audio of the assault and murder. The Assistant DA, Ricky Jones, gave the opening statements. Like I said, he told you there will be 3 key players. Mo Wilson, the victim, Colin Strickland, that cyclist that was the on-again, off-again boyfriend of Kaitlyn Armstrong, but had also had a relationship with Mariah Mo Wilson. And in 2019, he said that Kaitlyn and Colin began a romantic relationship, but they also became business partners. And being that they had a business together, they shared access to laptops and iPads that had access to iMessages from Colin's phone. The relationship is on again, off again. And when the relationship was off, they dated others but continued to live together. Colin began a relationship with Mo Wilson in October of 2021. Colin had to confront Armstrong for calling Mo and confronting her. Colin and Mo continued to be friends, but changed her name in his cell phone to keep it secret from Armstrong. In October of 2021, Armstrong called Mo. Armstrong owned a 9mm Sig Sauer. In January of 2022, she went and purchased a 50-round box of ammo and is seen practicing her firearms in the months leading up to the murder. Cell phone records for May 2nd show that Colin is in California messaging with Mo while Kaitlyn was home with the laptop. Kaitlyn is logged into Colin's Gmail and Instagram, and she can view his messages. 9 days before Mo Wilson is killed, Kaitlyn looks up pictures of Mo from her phone. And Kaitlyn decides to fly to Arizona to drive back to ATX with Colin. Kaitlyn and Colin arrive back to ATX on May 9th, 2 days before the murder. On May 10th, Mo Wilson comes to Austin, Texas, a few days before her scheduled race. In Hicko, Texas, she stays with her friend, Caitlin Cash, in East Austin. And let's see. On the days before Mo Wilson was killed, Armstrong was monitoring Wilson's whereabouts on Strava. And I have that app. It's an app that lets, if you're a runner or a cyclist, it maps your ride. It tells you lots of information about your rides, and you can share it with other people, etc., etc. On May 9th, Armstrong looked Wilson up once. On May 10th, Armstrong looked Wilson up 4 times. On the day of the murder, Colin and Mo arranged to go swimming together at Deep Eddy Pool. Colin tells Armstrong that he is running errands across town, and Mo gives Colin the apartment address where she's staying. Armstrong has access to all of Colin's text messages. The night of the murder at 5:43, Colin picks up Mo at Cash's apartment. That's the house that she was staying at. Goes to the pool and restaurant, drops her off at 8:35. At 8:38, Colin texts Kaitlyn about errands. See, I always wondered, because when we went over this timeline, someone said there was something like a bike that went in the path, and I always thought there was something more to that, I don't know, that he had something, I don't know, it's weird. 8:38, Colin texts Kaitlyn about errands. 9:15, Colin is home at the time of the gunshots. The night of the murder, 8:36, Mo unlocks the door to Cash's apartment, and that's tracked they have a security app for a deadbolt. At 8:37, 1 minute after, Kaitlyn's Jeep is seen in the alley next to the apartment. Mo uses her phone 2 minutes before the gunshots are heard on the Ring doorbell camera. The night of the murder, Cash arrives home to find Mo on the floor, and at first she thinks, she must have been biking, she's stretching out on the floor or something, but then realizes she has gunshot wounds, and she calls 911 and tries to administer aid. Cash informs police Mo had plans with Strickland. The day after the murder, May 12, 2022, police canvass the area. They find the Ring doorbell camera. They interview Colin, and he tells all, confirming the story. Prior to the interview, police discovered a black Jeep at Armstrong's home. Colin admits that it's Kaitlyn's car. At this point, police now consider Armstrong a person of interest. She has a Class B warrant out, so she's brought in, but can't explain why her Jeep was there. Police release her. A search warrant is executed, and 2 9mm pistols were found, including Armstrong's Sig Sauer. Next, May 13th, Kaitlyn got caught on camera selling that Jeep for $13,000. Kaitlyn Ubers to the airport. Kaitlyn flies from ATX to Houston to New York City. May 18th, Kaitlyn buys a ticket to Costa Rica using email, credit card, and sister's name and passport. On June 22nd, Kaitlyn uses a different name and pays $6,425 for plastic surgery. On June 29th, the U.S. Marshals locate Kaitlyn in Costa Rica and return her to the United States. Doesn't she know she could get her plastic surgery, but her DNA is what matters? My gosh. Sounds like a General Hospital thing. The jury made up of 8 women and 6 men are listening to the opening statements. There's cell phone evidence from Kaitlyn, May 27th from Costa Rica. She reaches out and searches her name and reads news articles about the murder investigation. On June 29th, Kaitlyn factory resets her phone and erases all data. Video surveillance show Colin and Mo leaving the area before the murder. 4 surveillance cameras caught Kaitlyn's Jeep circling the area. Kaitlyn's Jeep is spotted at the base of the apartment stairs 1 minute after Mo unlocks the door. 3 shell casings and 3 projectiles were recovered. All were analyzed and compared to Kaitlyn's gun. Both guns were test-fired. Colin's gun was excluded. Results show that there's a match between the spent casings at the murder scene and Kaitlyn's gun. Bingo! Then there's DNA evidence. Mo Wilson's bike was swabbed after it was found in the bushes 20 yards from the murder scene. See, this is the thing. They heard somebody going with that bike. Now, who took her bike? DNA expert is expected to testify the strong likelihood that the DNA matches that of Armstrong. Now, October 11, 2023, 19 days before the trial, Kaitlyn Armstrong attempts to flee from law enforcement while heading to a doctor's appointment. The attempted escape was all caught on camera. State then stopped their opening statements, and the defense turn was the next one. So they said that you will see and hear throughout the course of the trial, but the defense wants to explain what they didn't hear. They didn't hear there were witnesses to the murder, no video footage that shows her at the scene of the murder. You did not hear about any direct evidence. Defense points out that the APD, the Austin Police Department, told her, Kaitlyn, that she was free to go. Defense says Armstrong is passionate about traveling, passionate about yoga. She was known to travel at the drop of a hat and at a moment's notice. Defense is now poking holes. They were poking holes into witnesses. The trial will call. Detective expected to be called. Has never been a lead in any murder case. Uses hand quotes to talk about forensic science and ballistic evidence that were eyeballed and not properly or expertly conducted. Saying that the DNA reporting isn't 100% accurate, says ballistic evidence isn't science at all. The state objects. It's overruled. Says ballistic evidence isn't the gold standard depicted on TV. Says law enforcement had tunnel vision and jumped to conclusions. Hold on 1 second. The defense says evidence the state will show is inaccurate, unreliable, and unscientific. The assistant DA was livid and mad that the defense's opening statements are arguments and not a roadmap. If at the end of this you don't know the appropriate verdict is not guilty, the state has the job to give the state has a job to do, the burden of proof. Jury responsibility at the end of the evidence, you will be left with the conclusion that the state has fallen short of meeting the burden. Okay, let's see. There were objections to the defense's opening statements. They were sustained, 3 of them, by the judge. The defense was clearly annoyed. The defense says the state must be apprehensive of meeting the burden of proof. The judge says we should wrap up the opening statements, so the defense closes. There was a 15-minute break to excuse cameras. Again, we're not allowed to have cameras. Now we have to rely on the reporting. And we'll have to do it throughout the trial until we have closing statements. 8 witnesses are now simultaneously being sworn in. They're raising their right hands, yada, yada, yada. State's first witness, Matthew Wilson, is Mariah's brother. He lives in Vermont. He says most people call her Mo. They show a picture of Mo with the family dog, Brooke, from 2015. The picture was taken in Vermont. The second one is a picture of Mo with her bicycle. Picture taken at a Mid-South race, which Michael says she won. The Wilson family grew up in Kirby, Vermont, with a population of about 500. Matthew says he and his sister were very close growing up. Mo competed in alpine ski racing at Dartmouth. At the time of her death, she was living in San Francisco but was moving to Boulder, Colorado, and he spoke every day with his sister. Mo started racing in the fall of 2019. Her brother Matthew says she was considered one of the best gravel racers despite only training for 3 years. The next exhibit they show is Mo Wilson's Instagram. They show pictures of Mo competing and training. Matthew said he was aware that Mo was in ATX in May of 2022. Parents notified Matthew that his sister was dead when he was in school in Middlebury, Vermont. Now the cross-examination from the defense. Mo's date of birth was May 18th, 1996. She was just short of her 26th birthday at the time of her death. Matthew said he knew of, Strickland, who was a professional racer, and that they met at a race. He knew that Mo and Colin were talking about Mo becoming a professional cyclist. He knew them as professional colleagues. He was also aware that they had been romantic. He said that they were not in love and were not dating. Matthew says they spent one night with each other in Austin during the fall of 2021, and that's all he knows. Let's see. The next witness was Kaitlin Cash. Kaitlin was the friend that Mo Wilson was visiting at the time of her death. She also performed CPR and called 911. The state began its line of questioning. The first exhibit is a map of Maple Avenue with a pinpoint of the apartment crime scene. Cash is being asked about her memories from May 11th, 2022, and walks through their morning together and how Mo Wilson left to hang out with Strickland, and then a screenshot of the locking and unlocking of the deadbolt on Cash's apartment. Looking at the screenshots, call log, 9:54 p.m., Cash calls 911. Going through her memories of entering the crime scene, the door is already unlocked. Cash says she sees Mo's feet sticking out from the bathroom. She's about 15 to 20 feet away. She says, "Hi, Mo, I'm home." When she got closer, she could see her whole body lying there, and it was hard for her to speak in the courtroom. Her voice was breaking. She said that Mo was covered in blood and lying on her back. Cash immediately bent down and tried to wake her up. She called 911. She was holding her phone, purse, and leftovers from dinner. All were dropped. She's frantic. She asked for EMS. You can hear her panting and grunting in the background. An EMS answering machine picks up and takes 15 to 20 seconds to get a dispatcher. Cash finally speaks to the dispatcher, gives the address, tells the dispatcher about her friend on the floor. There's blood everywhere. She doesn't know what happened. Mo is not awake, and there's blood all over her face and head. And she's not bleeding. Cash is now crying on the witness stand. As she's crying on the phone as she gets instructions from the dispatcher on treating Mo. Dispatcher is teaching her how to deliver chest compressions. Cash is emotional but is listening to the instructions and is counting out loud as she delivers chest compressions. She has her phone on speaker. Her brain is leaking, she told the dispatcher. Cash is now very visibly distraught on the witness stand as she hears it again. The family behind the prosecution is crying into tissues and holding each other. It's a very hard phone call for everyone to hear. Don't give up, the dispatcher says. And you hear Cash crying as she counts out loud. The dispatcher is encouraging her along the way. Cash says she can hear the sirens. And the 911 call has lasted 7 minutes. Cash is on the brink of exhaustion when the police officers arrive. The 911 call ends. Let's see. Cash says she still remembers the moment. She has CPR training but did not know at the time if Mo was still alive. There were photos shown of Cash's apartment exterior. There was crime scene tape blocking it off from the back driveway. Cash's car can be seen underneath an overhang. A different angle shows the staircase that leads to the front door of the apartment. Mo's bike bag is at the base of the stairs on the grass. Earlier in the day, it was at the top of the stairs on the porch. Looking at the interiors of Cash's apartment, it is small with hardwood floors. There's a staircase that leads to a loft, and you can see a lock with a keypad on it that deadbolts the door and electronically sends timestamps to Cash's phone. You can see Mo's legs and feet lying on the floor of the bathroom. Her body is covered by a wall from the knee up. A picture is shown of Mo's racing bike, which has been thrown into a heavy brush. Cash says it is a bamboo forest that is close to her house. Another photo shows Cash after the murder. She looked shook. Her eyes are wide. She said she was completely shocked. Cash says she spoke to police at her home, at the police station that same night. She said she knew about Mo's relationship with Strickland, but says that they were romantic in October of 2021, but not in May of 2022. She recalled a night at the Meteor in the fall of 2021, which is a cafe hangout for cyclists. Mo and Cash had a conversation about a phone call Mo received. Cash says Mo was agitated and caught off guard about the phone call, and there were no further questions. The defense asked who else in ATX did Mo know. Mo knew a college friend named Janine. Talking about October 2021 relationship, not dating but more of a friendship, not a fling but a casual relationship. At the time, Strickland and Armstrong had broken up. And that witness was excused. Hang on. Okay, let's see. Let me get to the next witness. Okay. The next witness was Chris Lester in Austin, Travis County EMS. He's been with them for 18 years at the time of the murder. He was the district commander, going to medical calls and performing administrative tasks. Lester is recalling his memories from the night of the murder. He responded and saw officers and firefighters on the scene. He walked up while CPR was in progress. The fire department was the one who was trying to decide if CPR should continue, and Lester could see a big pool of blood around the head and vomit coming out of her mouth. Blood pool was about twice the size of the patient's head. Discussing when to make a death pronouncement. There were obvious signs of death upon arrival, and so they were able to get a time of death from the medical director. No more questions from the state. The defense cross-examination. How many people were present when you arrived on scene? And they said 4 firefighters and 2 officers. Any other EMS? No. How long were you there? 4 minutes, maybe less. Did you see others coming and going? Answer, the AFD dismissed after time of death. He didn't pay attention to anything after that. How large was the bathroom? It was small and narrow. How many people were in the bathroom? 2 with another 3 in the living room. Anyone on their knees? Yes. An officer. Everyone wearing gloves? Can't recall. Were you? Yes. The next witness was Nathan Taylor from the Austin Police Department. He was working patrol on the night of the murder. Let's see. Taylor remembered that on the night of the murders, he did not go inside the actual apartment. He secured the perimeter after seeing APD officers on the scene. Then there's a body-worn camera from Officer Taylor on the night of the murder, where you see Taylor approach the scene from the back driveway. The APD vehicle has its lights on. There are no sirens. An unknown woman is standing with Taylor on the top balcony. It is not Cash, and we have not seen this person before. It is believed she's a civilian on a ride-along with the APD. Taylor says it's common for APD to have civilians traveling along to active scenes. It's not necessarily uncommon for them to exit the police vehicle. Let's see. Taylor takes the bike bag from the bottom of the stairs and places it in the grass. He does this so the first responders do not trip on it. Okay, and then the defense asked, what was your role on scene? Response and assistance with scene security. Why setup tape? To preserve evidence was the answer. Question, why? Answer, people can contaminate a crime scene. Question, how many crime scenes have you attended? Answer, over 100. Question, did this have potential to be a homicide? Answer, potential. I didn't have the information at first. Question, how many access points to the apartment? Just the one. Suspect on scene is the question. No. Does that mean the suspect had to exit from the stairwell? Most likely is the answer. The bag at the bottom of the stairs, you moved it? Yes. Isn't it important to maintain the sanctity of a scene? Answer, preserving life trumps maintaining evidence placement. Question, keeping evidence pristine is important? Answer, yes. Question, were you directed to move that bag? Answer, no. No further questions from the defense. The state redirected. Why were you wearing gloves? Yes. Was the bag in front of the stairway? Yes. Did you move the bag for safety? Could someone have tripped? The answer is yes. And then that witness was excused. The next witness was Officer Padilla from the Austin Police Department. He talked about responding to the scene, and Kaitlyn, Cash's demeanor went outside, and then they viewed his body-worn camera, and it began with Padilla and another officer climbing the stairs to the apartment. Padilla observes the bike bag in front of the staircase, which he said was abnormal. He kicks it to make sure nothing else is in the bag and enters the apartment. Kaitlyn is being moved from the bathroom to the couch. She is crying and immediately moves from the couch to the outdoor balcony. She can hardly breathe. She tells an officer that Mo was with Strickland. They went swimming. Cash begins to gather her composure and begins to share more details about Colin and Mo and their plans, and says she last spoke to Mo at 5:30. Cash tells police about Strickland and where he lives, and she doesn't know his address, but the body camera ends, and the state has no further questions, and the defense does the cross and says, did you complete supplemental report after the incident? Answer, yes. Was Wilson involved in family disturbances? Answer is yes. Question is, why did you inquire about that? Answer, I needed to gather all relative details during an investigation. Question, why? Answer, wanted to know about previous incidents or violence. Question, do you have training in homicide investigations? Answer, no. not with APD. I am not a homicide detective. Okay, and then Officer Padilla has former police experience in Puerto Rico as part of the Major Crimes Division. State says it sounds like he did good police work. The state asks if the crime appeared as the perp knew the victim. Padilla says yes. The next witness was Officer Lopez from the APD, officer for 28 years. Okay, another body-worn camera shows that Lopez exits her vehicle, walks down the back alley, heading towards Cash's apartment. She's using a flashlight to scan for evidence. As she walks, you can see EMS arrive and head up the staircase. The garage door underneath the apartment is partially open. She walks back the way she came. Fast forward, you can hear the officers asking about the bike's whereabouts. Lopez can't find it. Lopez said she was helping find the bike, and then Lopez is putting up crime scene tape around the perimeter. While putting up the tape, she notices a bike that's ditched in a wooden bamboo forest. That night, there might be someone in there. Lopez says to a colleague. Lopez calls on a radio that she located the bike. Then the defense was asking if she processed any other evidence or touched the bike, asking about the diligence of preserving evidence. Lopez admits she doesn't know who put the bike there or why. The witnesses, then she was dismissed. The next witness was Sergeant Roland Ramirez with the Austin Police Department, officer for 24 years. That night he got multiple calls of suspicious or overdose deaths. 2 other deaths were on hold at the time that Wilson's death was called in. Salinas called Ramirez but didn't share too many calls. Ramirez says he called back after processing the other deaths. Salinas called back and told more details, alerting Ramirez that the deaths might be suspicious. Eventually, Ramirez determined that he should call his supervisor to alert the homicide team. Ramirez then visited the scene of the crime. Uniformed police officers were on scene. Ramirez searched the area for blood stains outside the apartment after an officer alerted him to it. Let's see. He followed it for a block. It turned out to be paint and not blood. Other detectives joined. Detectives conducted a walk of through the apartment. Moe's body had already been removed. The apartment was organized. There was no signs of a struggle. A small cabinet was open and a candy bar was on the ground, but no signs of theft. Ramirez began canvassing the neighborhood to look for cameras that might have captured anything or anyone. The location of the bike didn't make sense. Why would they just leave the bike if they intended to steal it? Ramirez found a camera and located the homeowner in the morning. Once they woke up, the homeowner allowed them to review the video footage. Focusing on the time when the body was found, Ramirez saw a dark SUV passing through the alley. It stops by the apartment. Now the Ring doorbell camera is shown. It shows the black Jeep driving down the driveway at 8:37 p.m. It stops at the end of the driveway, out of frame. Ramirez observed the bike rack on the back, which triggered his suspicions. Ramirez's theory at the time, a person who entered the residence was known to the victim. After observing the location of the body and the injuries sustained, Ramirez determined that it was intentional. The individual was intentional with their shooting, and the crime seemed personal. The suspect was likely angry. Okay. Let's see, and that was the end of court for the day. And so we're caught up now on all of that. Okay. And hi, Billy boy, how are you? So, yeah, tomorrow at 8:45, Charlie Adelson will take the stand, and that'll be good to watch, right? And now we've got to do, what time is it? It's 3:33, 3:20 something. Yeah, we've got to do our word cookies, and then we have to go to bed because we've got to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for Charlie Adelson. Okay? Hey, Billy Boy, thank you for the super chat. That's mine and I see you. 1,000 hugs for my lightning bugs in the MRB community. And I'm not drunk. What about me? The lightning bugs. No love for me, Billy? Okay. And let's see. We're going to do you're going to play the word puzzle, Billy? We had a really nice live, Billy. Did you watch it with Rosemarie? I hope you did. I hope you did. Okay, let's go to the daily puzzle. Endless, that's good. What about senseless, is it? Okay, let's go to the daily puzzle. What is it? Dingle. Hold on, you think so? Dingle? Dingle? Oh no, dingle. Hold on a minute, Billy. It keeps making... Oh my gosh, this thing won't go straight. No, sorry. Good try. Dingleberry, yeah. No. We did glide. We have jingled and jingle. Got that all. Okay, what else do you got? Oh, Glenn. Glenn. Nope. Guild. Didn't I try that? Yeah, I tried that. Didn't work. Idle. Yay, that worked. Great. Genie. How about a genie in a bottle? No. Dine. Okay. L. E. Oh, lied. Yes, lied. Who said that, Billy? Elizabeth. Jenga? No, there's no A. Nope. Oh, lined. What about line? Line and then lined. Very good. Okay, one more. So it should be don't. Dinge? I think I tried that. Yeah. You're 33. Oh, come on, we gotta get this. Oh guys, you gotta get this. Come on, guys. The gel didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. Come on. Where is somebody? Oh my goodness. Oh, hi, Murder of Crows. DEIGN. Yay! They got it. Murder of Crows got it. Billy Boy. If Murder of Crows gets it, what? What are you gonna do? You gonna flip out or are you gonna be happy? Oh, you're gonna double your membership? That's nice. That's very nice. Thank you. Less is more? Yeah. Lesson? Yeah. Billy Boy, The Murder of Crows. Grammar skills are sexy. How you doing? Thank you, Billy Boy. Billy Boy, Billy Boy. Thank you very much. Last we did that, so There we go. We all got it at the same time. I got it and I looked at you guys and you got it. Ceiling? Bath? What? Okay. Lily? Finally. Finally, Kevin. You got it? What cat? What cat? What cat? There's no tea. Flan. Very good. Do you like flan? Inlay. Good. You do like flan? 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 Is it flan or flan? Tomato, tomato. Okay, I gotta go to bed because you know what? I've got a huge day tomorrow and I've got to keep myself getting rest because the family is, well, Luca is okay now, but Jimmy has the COVIDs. So I will see you tomorrow. Love you guys. God bless. Prayers for all. My eyes are getting watery, so I gotta go to bed. Okay, everybody be good. God bless, prayers, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Thank you for watching. Most of you will watch on the replay, I think. Oh.